Lucas Nation fans. Welcome back to another exciting podcast. This is the Lucas Chat podcast for season 2. Now, be sure to check out the other podcast this weekend, Lucas Chat podcast. We talked about Arya, the Scarlet Ammo. A lot of good stuff. We really get in, go in with that anime. Please be sure to check us out on Dailymotion. Is www.dailymotion.com/Kennedy Lucas, and of course on YouTube at Kennedy Lucas, and on the website of www.lucas94.wix.com/live. Now, today we're here to talk about a special movie that I have personally bought and have on Blu-ray. This movie came out in 2012, and I'm talking about Project X. Now, Project X is a very funny, hilarious. You have to be real mature to watch this movie. Now, this movie, and I just want to read some of the some of the actors in this movie are played by real people, like the actual name, like Thomas, the main character in Project X, was played by the actor Thomas Mann. How cool is that? And except for Costa was played by Oliver Cooper, that they changed his name on that, and JB, his real name is Jonathan Daniel Brown, JB. The three anonymous high school seniors who are determined to finally make their mark. When they mean make their mark is they're throwing a huge party for Thomas's birthday. Now, Thomas, he at the beginning of the movie, he's just this average kid. He wasn't so much of a nerd, but he was I don't want to say nobody, but he was like, not the cool, but not so cool high school students in school. They wanted to throw him a huge party to make him feel cool. Huge party to make him feel cool. They had a lot of people at the party, like a couple million people at his house party that he had was provided by Costa. Now, Costa, played by Oliver Cooper, was kind of organizing the party a little bit. He did most of the organization. He did a lot of, I want to say, a little bit business, because they had a lot of, he had a lot of connections with like the radio and all of that. A lot of stuff going on for his birthday party. He had a bouncy house, he had signs, he had food, wine, alcohol, champagne, drugs, a lot of drug pills, and a lot of naked girls. And that's something I sort of wish I could go to a party like that, but I do not wish to throw a party like that, because within the end of the movie, it's just really, the whole movie, you're just partying, and then, he has a friend named Kirby. Kirby was played by the actual we're trying to get word here. The actual girl named Kirby. Kirby Bliss Blayton played her own name, Kirby. Now, Miles Teller. Now, Miles Teller, again, I did mention this. I mentioned his name when we podcast Fantastic Four. He's also in the new Fantastic Four movie, but he also played his actual name, Miles, in Project X. Alexis Knapp. Her name's spelled with a K.N.A.P.P, so I think the K is a little silent. Played by, Alexis. Dax Flame, played by Dax. He was the quote-unquote cameraman, but, they had the official camera people to do all the work. But, his character in the movie, he had to play cameraman. Everett, played by Brad Hindor. That's one of the... Costa had hired two small little middle schoolers to be security, which was kind of funny because they were so small. They looked like little kids to play to actually play security. Now, they actually did have a special guest in this movie, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel was in the movie. He didn't play in so much stuff, but Jimmy Kimmel was just being Jimmy Kimmel, from the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Nick Nervies played Tyler, one of the security, the black guy, the little black boy, the security, very scrawny, very short, little fade haircut he had in the show, and not in the show, in the movie. But awesome cast, honestly, in my opinion. This movie here is epic. Um, for his birthday, he got a van. Which was good for him because I didn't get when I first got my car. It was just sort of given to me, like it wasn't any birthday gift or anything like that when I first got my car. Um, but got a van for his birthday. They wanted his parents thought he would throw like a small little birthday party, like a small birthday party. But then it turns out it was a little bit more than that. It was like a huge extravaganza, a little bit. And then the neighbors were complaining in the movie. The neighbors were complaining. There's this one neighbor who has a baby and a wife, and he stood up all night. He called the police on them. And once the police was on their way to Thomas's house, they moved everybody that was in the front yard to the backyard and had to hide. Had to hide and just be quiet. Now I wonder how in the hell they had all those people to be quiet like that while the cops were in the front. And then the cops wanted to come in, and then Costa was like, "Hey, yeah, you need a warrant for that," which is true. Cops do need warrants in some occasions. But they didn't come in; they just left. And it was like, "Yeah, have a nice night." They left, and then the party continued. Now, at the end. At the end of the movie, Thomas kind of realized that the party kind of gets out of hand. The party uh, people were breaking his stuff in his house, stealing crap in his house. I know in one scene they had his dog in like an air balloon, like in a tons of balloons floating up in the air. They almost lost the dog. The windows were breaking. The chandelier broke. A lot of stuff was going on. Now, I do say you do need to be a little bit more mature to watch this. Movie because, and I can just say it because he's not here. It was kind of funny. One of my roommates here and I do say roommates because I am in college now, but one of my roommates had joined us to watch Project X, and again, girls were taking the shirt off, and girls were taking the shirt off. You see their boobs and their underwear. They're sort of naked. My neighbor screams like he just screams. I'm like, you scared of boobies? I wanted to say the other thing, but I don't think I can say that. Well, shoot, it's my show. I said, "You scared of titties?" That's what I said, and he's like, "No." It just kind of got me off guard. I'm like, "Yeah, you scared of some titties?" But he got so afraid of that, and I'm like, it's okay. But again, you do need to be a little bit more mature if you want to watch Project X. Please be a little bit more mature to watch it. Now, I'm just getting word from my production here. We are going to link the Project X cast and crew interview via YouTube in the link description below today's show. So be sure to check that out. It's about 3 minutes and 35 seconds long. Just kind of a sort of an overlook of Project X. Um, Now, this movie was directed by Nima. I'm sorry, that's a real long name, but I'm gonna try to pronounce it. Nima Narazada. If I pronounced that name right, give me a thumbs up. But if I didn't, just don't blame me. And the producer was Todd Phillips. Now, again, this movie took a lot of money to produce. It took a lot of legal documents. It took a lot of money because within the movie, Thomas's dad in the movie has a nice Mercedes Benz. They had to trash that, dump it in the pool, and have it lifted out of the pool. That took a lot of money to do. They had to break some stuff within the movie. They had to sort of sugarcoat the drugs a little bit. Now, they wasn't real drugs that they were pulling out for this movie. They pull out like candy and pretend that it's drugs. So, this movie was released back in 2012, so it's almost recent, but a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, this movie was released. It was out March 2nd. Now, a lot of people say that this movie wasn't that good. The company IMDb had rated this movie 6.7 out of 10. And then Metacritic rated this a 48%. And then Rotten Tomatoes, they have rated this movie 28%. And I'm wondering, why do they I just don't see why they should rank it so horribly. Like, I think it was very, I don't want to say smart. It was very creative. A lot of people want to do movies like this, and how the way it was sort of produced. They produced it in a way where it's like in your eyes. Like if you were there, this is what you would see. If that makes sense. Um, that's what I see in this movie, and I think it was a very great idea that it wants to do. Very, very great idea that it wants to do something like this. Now, on ScreenRant.com, they're saying that Project X sequel will continue the party. Now, do I think that this movie deserves a sequel? Yes and no, because what more are you gonna if you're gonna bring back the same cast members? What more are you going to do? If that makes sense, like at the end of the movie of Project X, the first one, Thomas, he got in trouble. They live in a hotel, and he has to work and have a lot of money to pay back his parents for trashing their house, and then he won't be able to go to college. He has to work to fix what he broke, So will they have the same characters, or will they have different characters? Now, if they have different characters, uh, that's why I say no on that. Like, because um, it's if you were to have different casts, will you do the same thing as the first one? Or are you going to do something a little bit different? That becomes the question. That's why I say no on the Project S sequel, because are you going to do the same kind of storyboard, or are you just going to do sort of a different route? Now I'm getting worried here. Okay, never mind. That's not a word on that. But that's just the thing with these type of movies. Uh, will you be able to do the same type of story, or will you do another sequel with the same characters? Not really much you're gonna do with the same characters, except for Costa. You can bring Costa back. I don't see why not. You can do it for him, but not too sure if they're gonna do sort of a sort of sequel within this movie, within the second movie, of course, if they were to do a second one. But if they were to do a second one, I say why not with that. But if you bringing back different characters, I'm not too sure. Now that has been pretty much the wrap up of this podcast. I hope you guys did enjoy this podcast over Project X. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to check out my YouTube channel at Kennedy Lucas. Again, at Kennedy Lucas. Be sure to check out my Dailymotion account as www.dailymotion.com/Kennedy Lucas. Please be sure to check that out, because this weekend we're going to be re-releasing all three previous movies: The Horizon, Welcome to Paradise, and Sensation. All three of those movies will be released only for Dailymotion only. You see the advertised on Twitter and Instagram and all that, but only on Dailymotion in celebration of John Blaze. Now, what we want to do, we want to hit a lot of hits with John Blaze over Dailymotion, because I did become an official partner for Dailymotion. So if you guys want to check me out on Dailymotion and follow, that would be great. Be sure to just check up on it, and be sure to watch the Weekend Vlog 52, episode 52, with a new setup, and we have a lot of new announcements to come on that show. So as of right now, I'm Kennedy Lucas, logging out.